As I mentioned, Chris is joining us now live in the studio. Chris, good to see you. Welcome back.
Good to see you too, man.
I was reading about this album. This is Fine China. The album is called X. It's going to come out sometime this summer. And you said you wanted to take the Quincy Jones approach to this.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Well, when we composed the album and put it together, I wanted to put, a lot of producers and a lot of writers in the same kind of place and have like a camp. So it's like a camaraderie and a chemistry between everybody. So it naturally flows easier in the studio like that, and everybody's energy, they can kind of be more creative. So I wanted to kind of take that approach.
You're 23 years old. I mentioned you came out with your first music when you were 16. You were discovered at 13, I think it was.
Yeah.
When you look at your music today versus the music you were putting out at 16, 17 years old, what's the biggest difference in it?
The biggest difference, I would just say just me being like older now, as far as when I first started, the subject matter might have still been a little bit, in my age bracket. So
a little
now
more immature?
Yeah, so now I think with my music it's maturing, so I have a lot more to talk about, whether it be personal relationship, trials and tribulations, just me as a young 23-year-old man. So I think that can, in a nutshell, can, sum it up for how mature the album can get there.
You've been here several times over the last few years. The biggest difference that I would note and tell our viewers about is right now you are agreeing to sit down and talk about things that you hadn't talked about over the last 3 years. And I'm talking about the incident in 2009 with Rihanna, where you were charged with a felony and convicted of a felony in that.
Absolutely.
You say in the interviews that I've read over the last couple of days even that you are a changed man, that you're different. How are you different?
Well, for me, I've been humbled by the whole experience, from me losing everything, to me having to regain, public opinion or whatever it is. But most importantly, knowing that what I did was totally wrong, and having to kind of deal with myself and kind of forgive myself in the same breath. And, being able to apologize to, Rihanna, and being able to be that man that can be a man,
And yet there are cynics out there. There are skeptics out there, Chris, who are going to say, well, he's a changed man because he's out there selling a new album. And image is important if he wants to sell that album. I was looking back over the last year, even the last several months. There was the fight with Frank Ocean. There was the fight with Drake. I even looked at some Instagram pictures that you posted back in December. They weren't the most wholesome pictures. So do you understand where some people might say, I'm not sure he's changed yet. I'm going to wait and see. Let's see what he's like 6 months after this album comes out.
Well, I think everybody's entitled to their opinion. For me, it's just a learning process. I have to just take it one day at a time. I can't make everybody like me. I think for my album and what I'm promoting as far as a single or whatever it is, it's just about me being positive. And everything that I'm doing with my music is hopefully to inspire the world and inspire people that, have been in my situation, or even anybody who's trying to learn from me,
I was reading some headlines over the weekend online that said that you were either off with Rihanna or still on with Rihanna. First of all, clear it up for me. What is the status of your relationship?
No, we're fine. I think in the actual interview that they try to depict that, they got it wrong. I think they interviewed me from an old interview that was maybe like a year prior.
So you're together as a couple right now?
Yeah, everything is good. We're fine.
When that was announced, the reaction was strong from a lot of people. And they
as always, as all news.
Well, but there were strong emotions. A lot of people worried, I think, about her and the choices that she was making, and they thought, this is going to end badly. How do you respond to that?
Well, I think it's just me proving myself once again. And also just me being a man and, knowing that what I did was wrong and never doing it again. So as far as me and her are concerned, she knows my heart and I know her heart. So I'm not really focused on, the negative. Everything about it is positive for me. I've learned I did my 52 weeks of, counseling and learned that it was absolutely wrong, And
counseling, did you go through therapy or was it just counseling?
It was counseling. It was domestic violence counseling, and we 52-week program every Monday in Virginia. I remember going and, just sitting in there and just like, why did I do what I did, and really wanting to just get help.
And you're sure it will never happen again?
Absolutely, yeah.
Here's what Rihanna said about you in a recent interview. I thought I hated Chris, and I realized it was love that was tarnished. It looked like hate because it was ugly, it was angry, it was inflamed, it was tainted. And I realized that what it was is I have to forgive him because I cared about him still. And the minute I let go of that, I started living again. You understand that if you behave badly again, you're going to damage not only your relationship, but her reputation as well.
Absolutely. So that's why I'm moving forward, positive.
People in this country, it seems, they love to build someone up.
And bring them down.
And then they enjoy standing on the sidelines and watching as someone goes down. But it's also been said people like comeback stories.
Absolutely.
Do you think that the people who have been your harshest critics have it in their hearts to give you a chance at a comeback?
I think for me, it's about proving myself to my fans. And I think my fans have been the #1 support for me. So I think, the naysayers are going to have their opinions. Anything I do, whether it be, walk down the street, I might say something to somebody. It's not going to be always, Chris is the greatest, so I'm not going to focus my life on trying to please those people. Only thing I can do is please my family, please myself, and please her, and, my fans.
Chris, I appreciate you sitting down.
Man.
It's nice to see you again.
Thank you, brother.
And you can check out Chris's new video in its entirety on Today.com. Now, that's going to be up there a little later this morning. Savannah?